everyone. I'm Elise.
And I'm Chloe.
And welcome to the Cool Down Room. It's race week, so let's talk about the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Gabriel's first home race.
Yes, we will get to that later.
We'll get to that later because, somebody cursed him.
Yeah.
He's
for
been
real.
cursed.
Oh my God. The Williams livery. What was going on?
The Williams livery genuinely
Why
looks so bad.
Why does it look like a McLaren? Why is it blue and orange? Those colors shouldn't go together unless it's like a sports team, which it kind of is, but like no.
It
just didn't look good.
It's like it's a McLaren from the back.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a McLaren from the
Yeah.
back, but it's a Williams from the front, and it's all very confusing, and I don't like it, and it looks bad. Who designed that? Because we need to have a conversation.
Franco's confirmed to drive for Alpine next year. Clap if you're shocked. Okay. Yeah, I saw that announcement on Friday, I think, and I was like, oh, well, there you have it.
I mean, we all kind of knew that was gonna happen, did we not?
Yeah. We have more notes because it was a sprint weekend. We have more notes for free practice than I think we do for like sprint quali.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah.
It was boring.
Okay. So like
sprint quali was so boring.
Elise and I didn't watch it FP1 live, but they had the.
No, I think I did.
Okay, I did not.
I watched FP1 live because it was at like 9 a.m. So I was or it was at 9:30.
I woke up when it started.
Awake. I was already very much awake.
But they opened the YouTube like recap with just like footage of this lizard on the side of the track, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but at a race, I think it was this year Montreal, Pierre hit a bunny.
I did not know this.
Yeah, and they didn't put it in the footage because it was like graphic content. And I was like, please, dear God, let this not be a Pierre with a rabbit situation because the lizard was like chilling on the side of the track. And I was like, please, dear God.
They've had lizards. Like there was Godzilla. They've had lizards on the track more than once.
They've had birds. They've had bunnies. Now they've had lizards. They've had.
Oh my God!
They've had cats.
Why am I blanking on what their job is?
I don't know. Marshals. Animal
Yeah,
control.
they've had marshals on the track.
Marshals on the track for Mexico was crazy. Austin, Mexico.
That was Mexico because it was Was it It was whatever it was the last race. Mexico. So that was Mexico?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good. I'm not
I was like, I also thought it was funny because they opened up and they're like, and the commentators are like, and we're back in Brazil, and then it's just footage of a lizard. And I was like, well, yeah, welcome to Brazil. Here's a lizard.
Fair enough. I get it.
Here's a lizard on the racetrack. Okay.
Jolan Palmer was like actively having a therapy session.
Don't know who that is.
Okay, so he's one of the commentators because I finally started figuring out who's who based on their voices because I'm way better with faces. And he was a driver and like drove on. I'm like 95% sure it was Jolan Palmer having the therapy session, but he drove at Sao Paulo and like I'm 90% sure he said something about like starting the Wall of Champions. And the first that is my shoe as it like squeaks across the table leg because I can't sit normally. But he like drove there and it sucked. So he's like having a therapy session about his time driving in Sao Paulo. And I don't know, it was just funny.
Yeah.
Like I love hearing them talk about like their experiences. For context, Alice Powell is the host for F1's Cool Down Room, and I just think it's really funny that her name is Alice Powell and my name is Elise Polselli, and we both run like a podcast called The Cool Down Room. I like to joke that she is the older, blonde, more successful version of me. However, I was blonde over the summer.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm now on a hair care journey because I bleached my own hair. Don't do that. It actually was fine. It actually was fine. Like, it turned out totally fine. Just be very careful. I just want to say that I watched the second half of this during my Italian class intermittently because sometimes she would make us, like, put our computer screens down. So shout out Intermediate Italian.
I was sitting in my bed watching this, but I have the attention span of a 3-year-old. When it comes to F1, I can only watch it if I'm watching it with somebody else and we're doing something else. So like I can have an F1 race on the background and be doing homework or cleaning my room, but I can't just like sit there and watch it. I can't. And would like go back and forth between the F1 TV app on my phone and like Instagram and then like texting people. And then Elise would like text me something. And so I'd like go back to the live stream and I was just bouncing back and forth for like the whole thing.
I have to do something when I'm watching anything.
Yeah.
Like I can't just sit still.
Yeah.
That's not a strong
I've
suit.
noticed.
As I twist back and
As you're
forth in my
twisting in
chair.
your chair. Isaac being sassy diva because he is one. Mate, is Piastri blind or what was that?
I don't even know what he was doing, to be honest.
He just doesn't really give a fuck who he's talking to, or like what he's saying. He's just like, okay, you're in my way.
He's a blunt guy. He's a blunt guy, and I appreciate that.
When he was
about him.
before this season started, people were like, "Oh my god, Isaac's so like spoiled. He's just like this like rich kid. He's like a really good driver," but people were like, "He has a reputation for having a temper," and I was like, "Well, yeah, this is F1. They kind of all do."
A, this is F1. B, he's French.
Yeah. But
isn't that like a whole cultural thing? Okay, I'm gonna not to like be racist against the French, but like, is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. I don't want to make assumptions, but like, isn't that like a cultural thing? Like the French are just angry a lot. Which, you know what? Fair enough.
Yeah.
The French have a reason to be angry.
Y'all were forced to be allies with Americans during the American Revolution. I don't blame you. I love America, but like.
And America went back on that promise. So if France has anybody to be angry at, it is Americans.
Yeah.
Because we did not help them during their revolution, even though we promised we were gonna. So
last year, Ollie was substituting for K-Mag in Brazil. So he was the only rookie who had driven on this track before, which showed.
Which A showed, B, this was way easier conditions than when he was driving.
God. Last year, Elise and I sat in her dorm lounge and watched Brazil, and it was like raining sideways, torrential rainstorm, category 2 hurricane. And Ollie was like, all his radios are like, guys, I'm so scared. Guys,
he was
guys,
terrified. He was terrified in that car. They would tell him something. He'd be like, I can't see anything.
Also, this is a side note, but since we haven't really gotten into the race yet, if you haven't watched Amelia de Moldenberg's new series called Driver's Test or Driver's School.
I thought it was Passenger Princess.
It is, sorry. Where F1 drivers teach her how to drive. Watch the one with Carlos. It's hilarious.
Okay,
it's funnier than the one with Lando. Not Lando. She did one with Oscar, and she did one with, it was like, oh my God, I can't remember who the first one was, but it's like somebody and then Oscar, and then her most recent one was with Carlos. Oh, it was Ollie was the first one. Watch the one with Carlos. Oh my God, it's funny because Carlos is giving sass the entire time. Like after she gets in the driver's wheel. It's really. I said K-Mag was ailing and I was like, he's not that old, guys. Calm down.
That was last year?
Yeah, when they were talking about Ollie being like the only rookie to drive who's ever driven on the track before. They were like, and he was subbing in for an ailing K-Mag and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, he's not that old.
Yuki went. Wait. Okay, we just have to keep moving because we're at like 10 minutes and we haven't gotten anywhere.
Way off the track. He did a little shuffle. It wasn't a pirouette. It wasn't a slide. It was a shuffle.
Yeah. Kimmy going, come on, man. What are these idiots doing? Honestly, I love 19-year-old Kimi Antonelli clocking everyone on the track who's like a full decade older than him.
And then
it's so fun.
Liam said, "Oh my God, what is he doing?" when he was blocked coming out of the exit by Max. Liam's just always mad. It's a thing with Kiwis, too. It's the French and the Kiwis are just, like, always mad. Literally everyone was mad because people were blocking each other. It was just a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
They said Georgia and Max were being racy with each other, and again, my, like, Southern instincts kicked in, and I was like, hey, okay. I had to, like, clock the context in my brain and just, like, remind myself the context we're in.
F1 drivers... This is such a, like, really quick jump, but F1 drivers should have secondary careers as ballerinas. Yeah. Or, like, synchronized swimmers, because Lewis did a double pirouette.
Yep.
Which I fear happens. One of those pirouettes happens at least once a race weekend, and it always makes me giggle every time.
Yep. Ollie in P4, he's on fire.
Ollie was fucking rocking it.
I don't know what they put in that Haas to make it go so much faster than Esty Bestie. But, like...
I don't know if he even got episodes, but, like... Or got episodes. I don't know if he even got upgrades, but, like... I think it might honestly be partly due to the fact that last time he was on this track, it was the most god-awful conditions you have ever seen. And I think he was just glad to, like, not have to race in that. And so he was like, well, I can take more risks now. And they paid off.
Yeah. He also, like, Yeah, okay. They said another improvement for Pierre Gasly, who adores this place. And I was like, why?
I had to put a note under it being like, girl, he podiumed here last year.
Yeah, I didn't remember that. I don't think I don't think I really paid attention to that last year. I was just like praying that everybody like made it out alive.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Also, I was kind of still new to F1. I didn't really know how everything worked.
Carlos saying, this is the worst execution I have seen in my life. I don't know what this man was talking about, but he was in P20. So, or at least when he said that, he was in P20. I don't remember where he ended. So I would feel that way too.
Yeah. Literally nothing else happened in Squid 2. Or Squid 1.
Squid 1. Sprint quali was just boring. I'm sorry.
Squid 2, Charles locked up, and like a little bit of smoke came off his tires. He just like kept going.
They were new tires too. That was what like kind of shocked me a little bit, is that they were new tires. I don't think they should be smoking if you lock up.
And then Lewis's car did the same exact thing in the same exact corner.
Common Ferrari L, I fear.
And I was like, whoa. And then he went off track. Like, he just went off, and then he just stopped. And there was a yellow flag for that, but then he, like, went back out because...
Well, yeah, because the car was still working.
He couldn't make Q3 because
he like, had to fully stop.
Yeah, but he had to still, like, drive off the track.
Big fat sigh. I don't even... So... I think I actually have a note about this later that, like, I don't necessarily care who wins anymore because I don't, like, as much as I love
your race
George is my favorite current driver, but I don't know if I care way more now that, like, there's good racing. I don't really care who's, like, really, like, truly, like, my favorite or whatever. And so, but with Lewis, I'm like, I just want to see him win one more because I feel he deserves it.
Yeah, he does.
He deserves to be, like,
somebody who has a poster of him on her wall in her dorm. He does.
He deserves
and a light with the little leaderboard thingy. Yeah, that just says ham. It's really funny. Squid 3. They just started off with Piastri's middle sector is not good, and I was okay.
What was going on with Oscar? What did they do to his car?
Yeah.
Do I need to fight? Like,
right?
Can we please give them the same car and let them fight? Like, is that so hard? Is that so hard, McLaren? Zach Brown, is that so difficult?
Yeah.
Is it? I'm staring really intently into the camera.
Yeah, you're looking into our viewers' souls. Nico made Squid 3.
And then, well, both the Aston Martins did too, which those words don't belong in the same sentence.
If you said that at the beginning of this season, people would be like, you're joking. Oh my God, that's so funny. And you'd be like, no, I'm serious. And they'd be like, what?
There would be just like a moment of introspection.
Yeah. Nano in P4 and Lance in P6. That's, I think, what it was. Like, that was like their final scores. Kimmy in P2 ahead of George and Oscar. Neither of them have got to be happy. I mean, George, because he's like on the same team and he's right behind him. But like, Oscar cannot be happy about being passed by like a 19-year-old who's just a little Italian boy.
I'm sure Oscar is not. Oscar could not have been happy with this weekend.
You put it in your notes.
Yeah, I put it in my notes here. George could honestly go either way. I'm like, I could see him being frustrated with it. But also, I think he's just a little bit frustrated with Mercedes. Like, I think he wants to stay at Mercedes, but I think he's frustrated with it right now in a similar way to the way Lewis was.
Yep.
Where he's at a point where, like, he's been on the team for a long time, and he's like, well, I know we can be doing better, but there's no reason why there doesn't seem to be a reason why we're not doing better than this, or why we're not winning more, or at least like podiuming more.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're at 15 minutes now, so we're doing okay.
But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of tired.
Yeah.
I think the winter break will do everyone some good.
Yeah. Also, this was the first race since Charles got engaged, so all of the press conferences start off with, first of all, congratulations to Charles, and I just know he got so tired of that by the end of the weekend. And then he got asked who was next, and he said Pierre, because they grew up together, so he's known, he's been there for the entirety of Pierre and Kika's relationship, so he thinks Pierre is going to be next. I think it should be George. Or Max, because he has a child with Kelly.
Yeah. I think
it's either Pierre or George. Max can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. I think there was a video that like
George and
surfaced.
Pierre don't have kids, So there's nothing else in their way.
Yeah.
They don't have
There's
to
nothing else to plan for.
Yeah.
I think there was there was a video that resurfaced after the announcement of like Charles and Alex getting engaged that was somebody like asked them a question about like engagement or marriage or whatever, and Lewis like looked at Charles and was like, "Oh, like it's going to be you next or whatever."
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and so Lewis I think knew, but
Yeah.
I mean to be fair, I don't remember when this video was
they do
from,
spend a
but
lot of time together.
they spend a lot of time together.
Okay. Sprint. It started at 9 a.m. and my alarm went off and then I didn't wake up until like 9:30. And Elise had already texted me 3 times.
A lot was happening.
Yeah.
Speaking of a lot happening, there was a delay and no one knew why. Like there was a okay.
It wasn't the weather.
It wasn't the weather. It wasn't anything. There was a delay to the start of the sprint race, and one of the commentators was saying like, "Oh yeah, I went over to James Vowles and like said, "Oh yeah, like do you know why the delay is happening?" And he was like, "Honestly," and James Vowles said like, "Oh, honestly, like until you said that to me, I didn't even know we were having one."
Yeah.
So, what? I would like to know why there was a delay.
Yeah.
FYI.
I said this already. I said this already, but like I don't have a good attention span for sports, and so I just like kept leaving and then coming back and leaving. And then I like went back and immediately Liam hit Ollie and then Ollie did a little pirouette.
This was like first lap,
and
right?
He goes, "Mate, this kid pushes me into the grass and then just sends it. I don't know where I'm meant to go." And then Ollie goes, typical Lawson. And I was like, are we in a sitcom? What just happened?
I fear at the same time.
No,
immediate yellow flag.
And they played their radios back to back and it was really funny.
And then Oscar went into the wall.
Yep.
The track, okay. This is like the best place to explain track conditions because it was like not wet, but it wasn't dry. There were like really specific because it was raining overnight, and so it wasn't always. There were like spots of the track that weren't completely dry by the time they set out to race. So there were like little puddles, and they kept describing it as greasy, and I didn't like that.
Oh, but yeah, they were like random puddles in like certain places, and they would go through it, and it looked like smoke because they were going through the puddle so fast, but it was just water. Also, I'm pretty sure it was like humid and warm, but it wasn't like blisteringly hot and humid. So it was actually kind of pleasant weather. It was overcast and like humid the whole weekend.
Oh my gosh. I like yawned before I could say anything. The yellow flag. So, Jesus Christ. The yellow flag that I mentioned a minute ago was because Oscar hit the wall, and then I think he was gonna like pull out, but then Nico and Franco hit the wall at the same, almost exactly the same spot immediately after him. So there was just like a 1, 2, 3. Oh no, because Oscar went out. So they were gonna have to have a yellow flag and then a safety car anyway, but it was so much worse.
And the aerial footage is really funny because you can see the exact spots where all of their cars hit the wall, and they're just like all in a line really close together on the side of the track, and you're just like,
I felt so bad because Oscar looked so dejected.
No, he
like
did.
He had his helmet on, but like, you know when like you can't see his face, but like the body language is just like depressed. I felt so bad.
Max was complaining about the car because it was bouncing everywhere, and then his team was trying to help, and he just goes, "Nah, it's just wet." Like the track.
He was like, "There's literally nothing you can do."
He goes, "We're giving," and then his mechanic goes, "We're giving you recommendations about how to not go into the corner at turn 1 either way, Max. Whether you take them or not is up to you." And I was like, "T."
No, because Max had said something like fighty to his engineer earlier, or like said something like later in the race or in the weekend that was really like.
Also, Pierre's radio, they tried to play one of his radios after Franco hit the wall of him asking if he's okay. Potato quality. Are we like on a Zoom meeting with a shit microphone? What's going on?
It was awful.
It was like, I just couldn't hear anything, and I was like, girl, what's going on? Is your microphone in your mouth?
It
was
really bad. It was god awful. Let's see. Speaking of Pierre's radio, after Franco hit the wall at one point, he was like driving and he was like, "Oh, Charles needs to like get past Fernando," and his engineer just goes, "I'll be sure to let him know." I would love to know which drivers talk to themselves in the car.
Yeah.
Because
have you seen?
I think
you
that
need to watch this video. There is a Wired autocomplete interview with F1 drivers this season.
How have I not seen that?
Because it popped up into my For You page because Ollie's in it, Alex, Carlos, Liam, and Isaac, I think.
Maybe I did see this, and I just
one of the questions is, do F1 drivers think about anything other than the race during the race? And Ollie goes, Ollie is so fucking funny during this video. He goes, I had a game that I played during Monaco, because you can't pass in Monaco, that I tried to not use full throttle for an entire lap. He was playing games during Monaco because he knew he couldn't pass anybody.
That's so funny.
And then
exactly the kind of thing I would do.
This is a meme. He goes, this is the meme, like, actively out there on the internet. There's a question that goes, can F1 drivers look behind them? And the rest of the question is, like, while they're driving. But before Liam finishes reading the question, Ollie goes. And then he turns back and he's like, yeah. And they're like, no, while you're driving. And he goes, oh, no.
He's a comedian.
He's
like, we cannot see in those fucking rearview mirrors.
Goes, can F1 drivers see behind them?
As we both turn at the same time.
It was really funny.
I fear he's a comedian.
He is. He's so funny.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Speaking of Pierre, Charles, and Fernando being ahead of both of the Ferraris.
Crazy work. I mean, like, when
Fernando
was in his peak era, like, that would have been very normal. But, like, recently, you'd be like, what? What are you doing up here? Ariana, what are you doing here?
It's because he's in an Aston Martin.
Yeah. And then the commentator said he might get a crick in his neck from all the looking backwards and forwards again.
As if they can see behind them.
No, right?
As if those side mirrors do fucking anything.
That was a really good segue. Esteban passing Liam was so gorgeous. It was a really good pass. It was just like one fluid moment. I was like, okay.
On a much more depressing note, huge crash for Gabby.
Yeah.
The hometown hero. He like went into the barriers at the center S, which is where they're going the fastest.
He was so fast.
Scary.
He was going like 250 miles an hour and just like launches into the wall because he tried to pass, and you're like not really supposed to do that at that section.
He tried to be daring.
And a piece of his debris was just like clinging on to
I texted Chloe about this.
So you can see a Williams driving away with the Kick Sauber logo just kind of like stuck to the side of it.
It was like hanging off of the side of one of the Williams, and it was really funny.
It's really funny. Lando and both Mercedes had finished because it was like 1, 2, 3.
It was the last lap of the race.
And then all the other cars had to slow down and not pass anyone because of the yellow flag for Gabby.
Yeah. Which
was like really funny because they would be like, and Lando and the Mercedes have made it across the line and Charles Leclerc is slowing down. And I could just tell they were like, damn it.
Yeah. Could have had such an interesting fun end to the race. Gabby still did not have a floor on his car after he crashed. Like, they weren't able to, because he got floor damage and they couldn't put a new one on it in time, so he wasn't able to set a lap time, which was very sad.
I don't know who this was, but somebody said, let us know if you can help us out with the tools.
If we can help.
Oh, yeah. And then he said, no, I don't really know what to tell you.
This was Max.
Yeah, and
Q1. Because I don't really know what that's about.
Yeah, I don't know. Max... Yeah, we don't have to get into that right now. It was the first time in his career, excluding penalties, that he got out in FP1 and Q1.
Which doesn't feel right. Like, something about that statement just feels wrong. In the same way that, like, both Aston Martins making it to SQ3 feels wrong.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen being out, Mad Max being out in Q1 just feels wrong.
Starting Q2 with Charles in P14 and Ollie in P1 is such a shock to the system.
Paulie felt like a fever dream.
Because what do you mean a 20-year-old is ahead of, like, the King of Monaco, basically? Not the literal King of Monaco.
The Prince of Monaco? Isn't that what everybody calls him?
Yeah. Crazy. I literally have no other notes for SQ2.
My SQ2? Just Q2. Girl.
Q2.
You can tell we're tired. You can tell we filmed these.
I'm tired.
I'm exhausted.
My brain is tired. My mind is alive.
That feels like a Taylor Swift reference.
It is actually.
It is. I can picture the exact video you're talking about. It's you can tell that we film these at like 5 p.m. on a Monday, and so I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
My only other note is about Lewis getting out in
Mm-hmm.
Q2, and he like took one hand off the wheel because you can't take both hands.
That's on you. That's on you, Lewis. I feel like you've been driving for like 15 years. You know that you're not supposed to take one hand off the wheel.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his Q2, like
No.
his quali results. We were also talking about this earlier, so I haven't known here about it, but I feel like he built up Ferrari in his head a lot.
Yeah, I think he did.
Like, I think he thought that, like, because
he got his hopes up too high.
Yeah, he was at a point where, like, he really just, like, didn't want to be at Mercedes anymore, and he said that, like, he's wanted to drive for Ferrari for a long time, and that he always wanted that to be, like, his last team before he retires. And I think he was like, yeah, like, I can win a WDC with Ferrari, like, I can win my 8th with Ferrari. Can you though?
Can you?
Because I don't know what they were telling him when he signed that contract, but that is not a WDC winning car. So I can only pray for next year.
Yeah. Q3, Charles in pole for a while. I've said it once and I've said it again. Ferrari, don't give us hope like that. Why would you do that to us? So rude. How rude.
How rude.
Liam and Isaac in Q3, I was like,
I don't remember when Yuki got out, but I think it's,
He did somewhere.
Was he out in Q2?
I don't know.
I thought he was. I just think it's funny that the junior team, which by the way shouldn't be allowed to be a thing, but that the junior team like made it to Q1 and the varsity team was out in like, or made it to Q1, made it to Q3 and the varsity team was out in like Q1 and 2, presumably. I don't remember when Yuki got out.
Oscar fighting for his life trying to get P3.
Yeah.
And then Kimmy P2.
I really wanted to see Ollie in pole, to be honest, because
I told this to Katie when we were watching the race. My dream podium would be Lewis, Isaac, Ollie, or not in that order, but all three of them on a podium.
I wanted to see Ollie or Kimmy because he would have then been the first person to get pole in F1 at 19, and I think that would have been really cool.
Lando, pole clap if you're shocked. Okay.
As we said that, I was gonna say my dream podium, I think right now is Lewis, Kimmy, and Ollie.
Yeah.
I gave you a different answer on the bus, but I'm not gonna say what I gave because I swore I wasn't gonna mention him again.
Okay, we should just go to the race. Elise and I watched some of it on the bus. Some of it we looked at the lap by lap. And then we got back to campus, and I immediately went to Katie's dorm, shout out Katie, to finish the race because I knew I wouldn't be able to watch it by myself. And Elise, we were just watching the race live, and Elise's sister was watching it live, and she just kept giving us updates, but she kept calling George just Russell.
Which is, well, okay, most people call them by their last names, but I'm very used to, like, using their first names. I just call him George because
it feels more comfortable.
Yeah, it feels way more comfortable than calling him Russell. Why does anybody have two first names?
Right?
He really, it just sounds weird. Like, he doesn't look like a Russell. That's George. That's a George.
Shout out Amelia.
We're not putting her name on here because she's 12 years old. So shout out to my sister. Sorry. That was why I edited it in the thing.
Okay.
Shout out to my sister for giving us updates because we couldn't watch it live the whole time that we were out. So my phone would go off and I would look down and it would just be like, Russell is 2. And I was like, thanks, girl.
Okay. What was going on with the driver's parade? I have a little vent about this.
Okay.
They were supposed to be in soapbox cars.
Spill the tea.
Or okay. If you
it is not 28. What was that? 2018. God, everybody forget I said that.
If they were I don't know if they were supposed to be in soapbox derby cars or something, but they would cram 4 drivers or 3 into this tiny ass car. It was really funny. Yeah, I didn't get it, but Gabby's car fully broke down, and people were saying Gabby driving the tractor. What's new?
Yeah, that feels like a sign.
Maybe it was a sign.
It's an omen.
They were kind of divided into teams, but then they also had Yuki, George, and Max on the same car. I was like, what's going on here? Apparently, yeah, there's a video of Carlos and Alex racing to the car who gets to drive it, which is really funny. And then, yeah, but apparently, so Gabby's car broke down, his driver's parade car, broke down during the race. Kimmy's car also broke down, and he left his hat in it. And mind you, then they have to walk the rest of the way around the track during the driver's parade, which is, for their safety, not good, but also just, annoying. because I'm pretty sure it was like drizzling during the driver's parade, and they're like trying to stay warm. And then Kimmy left his hat in the car, and he was doing press interviews, and his hair is just getting blown like straight back. And they're like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "I left my hat in the car that broke down." And they're like, "Car that broke down?" And he's like, "Yeah, during the driver's parade, the car I was in broke down." And they were like, "Oh, damn, all right." Anyway, chaos right off the bat.
Gabby in the barriers, lap 1.
Sad face emoji.
Sad face emoji. Safety car. That f***ing sucks. I literally can't say it any other way.
Can't even imagine the heartbreak for him and like his girlfriend and like his whole family was there. He said, "Yeah, Stroll pushed me out. He turned like I wasn't there," but he said it just like so dishearteningly. And
Normally, I'm a Lance defender too. I cannot defend this. Get your shit together.
No, right?
Get it together.
And then Oscar tried to pass Kimmy, but tapped him instead. Kimmy hit Charles, and it was like a domino effect.
Kimmy fully looked like a ping pong ball.
Yeah.
Like actively getting passed back and forth between. Well, he wasn't really getting passed back and forth because he only moved once, but it was just really funny watching him bounce off of Charles's car.
And then Charles fully lost a tire. Fully.
Like, okay, for context, when we say lost a tire, we mean that shit. Like,
the rubber came off.
The rubber part. Like, not his hubcap, not anything attached to the tire, just the tire. Like a
like when you're building
like a tumbleweed.
When you're building the F1 Legos, it's a rubber thing.
It's the rubber part
with the hubcap. The rubber thing literally just fell off.
It was fully. It looked like a tumbleweed, but like a big donut-esque tumbleweed rolling through the track. And you know what? I do think he could have passed Lance. I think he could have passed Lando, or at least gotten past him. Or at least like had a chance to get past him. Had that not happened.
Yeah.
And then Charles was out for the rest of the race. So.
Which was kind of sad.
Yeah.
He still had to drive to the pit lane though with only 3 tires, which was like kind of sketchy watching. I was like, what sport am I watching now? What's going on here? And then Yuki went to go past an Alpine, hit Lance, and then just kept going like nothing happened.
It looked like it was at pretty much the same time as Charles, Kimmy, and Oscar.
Yeah. Oscar got a 10-second time penalty, and so did Yuki.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would happen.
Max had a puncture on his front right tire, and so he pitted lap 7, which apparently is like really early for him.
Oh yeah, it's big early. Well, he also switched to mediums from hards, which like switching to medium tires as you're on hards at lap 7 sucks.
Yeah.
Because you're expecting to go way further in that race.
Yeah. I put this in. This is so random, but like I was like so locked in typing these notes because I had just finished the race, and then I literally went back to my dorm and wrote these. But all of the bullet points were lining up, which they don't always do in our notes, and it was really
what? Okay, Kimmy was in P2 or P3 for quite literally the entire race.
Yeah, and Ollie used his favorite late-breaking passing move.
Him and Max did the same move. Like, him and Max do that move a lot. This feels like rapid fire.
The second Ollie and Alex pitted, Max just started passing literally everyone. He went from P15 to P5 in 3 laps. Mind you, he started in the pit lane.
And then at some point, Lewis had to retire because of floor damage, so both Ferraris were out. We were on the bus checking the leaderboard. My sister did not alert me to this. So we were both like, when the hell did both Charles and Lewis get out?
Yeah. Oscar with a 13.5-second pit stop. What the
when we watched this, I said,
Lauren,
ew.
What are y'all doing?
I said, ew, out loud. Like, we saw the timing on that, and I just went, ew. That's gross. Like I said, Ollie was rocking it.
Yeah.
Ollie was just doing really well.
Max left the pits, and his team said something about his tires being vulnerable, and I don't know what he said back to them.
Me neither.
At one point, Isaac just goes, "Oh my God, can you stop yelling at me?" And I was like,
he's just a girl.
Honestly, that's valid. Let him focus.
He's just a girl. Max and George were duking it out for P3. And by the time Max gets into P3, the commentators are losing their fucking mind. Like, I should stop swearing.
It's like, God damn, he's won 4 world championships. Can we calm down, please?
To be fair, he started in pits.
Yeah.
So that's like I think it's the most positions anyone's ever gained after starting from the pit, or at least he's like tied with a couple of people for that.
Lando won.
He swept. I gotta give him that. He swept. He took every like first, including free practice, because he got fastest lap in free practice.
Yeah.
And then when he got out, he was like, not a big enough gap for my liking. I was gonna full name him, but apparently he doesn't have a middle name.
Oh.
Lando Norris because you don't have a middle name apparently, and though there is a conspiracy theory that
Okay.
he changed his name apparently. Sorry. I'm learning a lot of new things right now. Lando Norris, it was like a 13-second gap.
What do you mean?
What do you mean that's not a big enough gap?
Kimmy P2.
Have some perspective.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. They did not focus on this enough.
No.
In the highlights, at least they didn't focus on this enough. From lap 63 to 71, so until the end of the race, Max was on his ass. He was just slowly getting closer and closer and closing the gap.
Like Ollie last weekend with Oscar, or 2 weeks ago.
Like terrified.
Kimmy must have been so scared.
If
you look in your tiny ass rearview mirror and you see Max Verstappen.
You would hear me just screaming.
We were talking
you would
about
hear me like
earlier.
screaming and cursing.
And the caption would say small fearful noises.
That was you.
You would just hear like
you making like the scaredest, like the tiniest little fear noises, and I would be in that car being like, tell him to leave me alone. Tell him to back off. Let me have this.
Right?
He's been a world champion 4 times. Just leave me alone. I'm just a girl. And you would just hear screaming and begging for him to like get off my ass.
This is his second podium at 19 years old, which is actually
Lando's been leading the championship, but now there's a way bigger gap. Oscar, are you okay?
No,
Oscar, are you okay? That is all that we have for you today. That last bit was a bit of a speed round, but that's okay. We will actually not be right back here next week because we will be taking the week off in order to prepare for the huge surprise that we have planned for y'all for Vegas.
So excited.
Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. If you want updates on that or on our content in general, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Ithaca Cooldown Room.
And make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and Spotify channels and like this video.
That being said, I'm Elise.
And I'm Chloe.
And we will see you very soon. Have a beautiful 2 weeks. Mwah!